This place shouldn't have been it because me who much and I came with a lot of joy to come and see all of you. But you know, when I pick up some of these things in the spirit, it brings that thing, you know. We are the when better. You wouldn't need me to try to calm me down and try to silence me. You don't need to do that. Do what is right and do what is just. But I can tell you that as long as you refuse to do what is right and just, this voice will continue to be a threat to you. I'm telling you. Upwa nyame branso ye upatwe tuo ento twesikan en enye adwuma. I'm telling you truth. Obi amasoma abaha, I'm telling you it's a bogus effort. Branso you. I'm telling you Ghana. Asi adwen no etemoso no amunhuru baby am. Don't bring your madness here. It ain't gonna work. Yet you don't need Kofi Odro to disturb you. And this voice, I weigh less than 70 pounds, have become a threat to you. Hallelujah. Let's enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, hello, this is DK Reaction TV. This is DK Reaction TV. Mr. Ross and Neo Fraser, I'll be coming with you, I'll be subscribing, I'll be sharing, I'll be sharing, I'll be liking, I'll be sharing, mommy. Now, I want to say at 214 case na ambulance case, you know. And finally, say the High Court has given his verdict. Say there's no cause. He has acquitted and discharged Jakba any at 214 from any wrongdoing. But I think say Godfred Dame say over court Supreme Court no wako seeking for appeal. Na Kevin Taylor kasa so on there apart from all his utterances, you know, to me go away with his fat anytime he no kasa Ghana or BID because he's talking with fat on control. Now let me say more reacting to what Godfred Dame intend to do, and as a plan is doing in the next steps. He's going to the Supreme Court to appeal. This one, for me, I see it's no appeal. He's trying to go and revoke the High Court decision not to acquit and discharge Jakba any at forcing. Na Kevin Taylor kasa nti wajebre na yenti Kevin Taylor yemfa ye political affiliation to chain na yenhwe the real issue nti yenti Kevin Taylor na ewia na ehwe ni ameso metumi akafa nti yenhwe yenti Kevin Taylor.
Godfred Dame has become a persecutor instead of a prosecutor. Godfred Dame has become a disease to the justice system in Ghana. Attorney General Godfred Dame to appeal against decision of Court of Appeal acquitting and discharging minority leader Dr. Kesel Atoforsen. Yes, sorry, and you better say the appeals court in Ghana. Judge for me and Sa Atanasi Eti Atoforsen. Ene eye Jakpa appeal on the buyer say. Asema Attorney General Godfred Dame ejina so epese odi bua omofo no asem ne ninjina so. Na emom Godfred Dame pese odi koti kwan bi so ene buga etata omo echi omo kotu efiase efri se na adwini mu no omo ye NDC for enna wase di boni bia opese okata so omo ya asem ko duru appeals court no enna judge for no tena se omo ye miensa na omo se omo hwa asem ne efri asem ne tifi akosi asem na afo omo hu se Attorney General Godfred Dame enhyɛ da ɛnni ngyinasoɔ. The Attorney General does not really have a case. And that when they looked at the case from the beginning to where it is now, the evidence the accused have provided in court to support their case, they have also looked at the Attorney General's cases and prosecution cases, the amount and number of evidence he has provided as the state attorney. They came to that conclusion that the Attorney General does not have a solid case to prosecute, and that these men, Jakpa and Atoforsen, are supposed to walk free men, because the laws of the land says that we cannot bend the law. We cannot put people in jail when we don't have enough evidence beyond reasonable doubts to jail them. So the court itself, in its own wisdom, came to that conclusion, and in their final statement, they made it clear that this case that even came before them as the appeals court, the case wasn't even supposed to travel that far to the appeals court. Meaning, they were saying that the High Court judge, Madam Asantua, was supposed to stop this case. She has entertained the Attorney General's corrupt acts in court. She had opened a gap for the Attorney General to be putting in a lot of unfounded allegations against innocent men, honorable men. So in their final judgment, when you read their judgment, they were trying to say they are surprised that the High Court judge has allowed the Attorney General to misconduct himself, delayed and wasted the resources of the Republic of Ghana. They were expecting Judge Efua Asantua to end the case. This is straightforward assessment of everything. Now, about 2-3 days ago, I was here, and an American catcher will say, "Sa Jakpa case where I could pay the appeals court." No? The case now does not even look like an ambulance case. The case itself is basically moving away from the so-called causing financial loss to the state into something called character assassination. The Attorney General, because he does not have enough evidence to prosecute Atoforsen and Jakpa, now has resorted to maligning accused people, trying to taint their character. The relevant case itself, which he has to prove beyond reasonable doubt that Atoforsen and Jakpa the Attorney General Godfred Dame, he's moved away from that. Now he's looking at destroying the character of the accused. I don't care about the character of the accused. What I want you to prove to me is that the accused actually caused financial loss to the state. That is the bottom line. It is the appeals court for judgment now. When you listen or read very well to the judgment from the appeals court today, it says the trial judge, Justice Ifya Sewa, was wrong to ask Atoforsen to open his defense to prove that he had authorization to write those letters to Big C. And the appeals court for ruling, say, say justice and judge Ifya Sewa etumi den ekachre Atoforsen say omumbie defense na defense omumbie ne say onchre say letter na osign ye no the boss de setekpe ene man no tumi no abra setekpe so abetena court aka kire wo judge say me ena me man tumi intina appeals court ka say die pa na judge say wa pay free Atoforsen wa all catching say provide more evidence, because nipa na o man no instructions no eba court setekpe catch court say me ena me man instructions no appeals court for no troko for say the burden of proof that Atoforsen had no authorization to write those letters was on the prosecution to prove. In appeals court for no catch final judgment no say anyanya bia Atofo in there or say the boss said tekwe and the man instructions man sign sa letter of credit no. Into the omukra no mu say it is on the Attorney General mom na also approve say in fact Atofo sin and yes said tekwe and the man no to me say on sign because Atofo was the baby and the Attorney General catch and say what sign carta I know say carta no me boss na mom instructions. Me boss so abeka o court to say yes or no mom instructions no. Enti Attorney General mom and as soon as that so say I was what say the Atofo ne ka and say tekwe ka no atro. Enti adenti krampo na judge no etie sa asem we in the first place na nke ni say judge no krampo ma asem no every baby e wo no abedru ha ma catch them for almost a month. Me say the problem in this case is the judge. It's not the Attorney General. Because the Attorney General is operating on the judge's their softness. Because the judge is giving the Attorney General the room to fool, that is why Godfred Dame is fooling. Because if the judge had been rigid and stuck to the principles and questioned the Attorney General, the case wouldn't have traveled this far. And today, me catch them say, this ambulance case here, they be Attorney General Godfred Dame Jakwano, the judge is the problem. For the judge to even say, Atofo should open defense and Jakwano, it showed clearly say the judge wanted to frustrate the accused. Even her own colleagues in the appeals court, they in their final submission or in their judgment, they made it clear say judge sewa and dien or the problem in this case. Brofo yen nyina ya kan yen nyina ye hu the onwani colleagues eka. So why should anybody blame Kevin Taylor for saying say Judge Sewa has been the problem from day one? Because if she had basically asked the right questions, Godfred Dame wouldn't have fooled himself to this point. But the judge gave Godfred Dame a lot of room to misbehave and fool himself. Even at a point where Godfred Dame decides not to even question the accused, but write questions to give to his subordinates to answer, to question the accused. It is one of the most careless things we have seen in our courts or in any court in the Republic of Ghana. The Attorney General does not question the accused. He sits in court and writes questions for somebody to question the accused because the Attorney General knows when he faces the accused on those questions, the accused will accuse him because the accused have already made it clear with evidence that the Attorney General is a criminal who discusses cases outside court. When you read the judgment from the appeals court today, these are some of the things they said. If anyone was culpable, it ought to be those in charge of Ministry of Health and not Deputy Minister for Finance, who from the evidence officially performed his duty. Appeals court of one say, adikudienti omugina so akasa atofo sin nkofie ne jakpa nkofie ne say ye pe obi kra so mo pa asan we mu nyina no eye the Ministry of Health na enye minister na ye man instructions say onye den onu mom inside den the document no into or see senka ye pe obi kra so mo pa e wasem mu a Ministry of Health na enye the minister or the deputy minister for finance, because a ministry no any big C assign a contract. The minister was just performing his duty. How can you as an Attorney General come and say almost sign contract, no, you don't have a problem with them, and those who basically were doing their jobs by signing documents for people to be paid, they have caused financial loss. The ministry itself, the Ministry of Health, had somebody who sat with a big C to sign the contract. The contract was between the Ministry of Health and the big C company. So why are we going after the Deputy Finance Minister who took instructions from his boss to sign a letter of credit? The appeals court went on to say this: the positive facts from the prosecutor in this case are lacking, leaving mere conjecture and speculations. Almost say, Attorney General no, the all your court ni nyina no, appeals court no, ehun ni say, eye huridi hurada. Ni asemia omu gina so. The omu yeri nyina ne say, bo mu sirem speculations. Say Attorney General no, oni engina so. On shada ni asempati bi a ogina so etwa ho ede atia atoforsen ene jakpa. Inti majority of the time no, the Attorney General Godfred Dame court ni nyina eye bosire muka. Yeka say speculations and conjecture. O kekan sem sieni na wa bonisirem ede amagana for dwen say asema ewo ngina so. We appeals court for asema omoka. Mi dwudwam sanya be ya obehu de course wo court de Madam Sewa onwani colleagues chrofa onwana dia oye won high court ho almost bosire muka ene ensem kwa wakeke sieni na Attorney General ne hyeda ni asem papa bia ogina so edidi asem no appeals court for asema omochurama yese yenkan no into omankasa no uti omasem na obo de tofa omo person ka kire Ghana for say Attorney General Godfred Dame ni case na emom judge say wa na asoso Godfred Dame so emani jimi no ho. These are judges. I don't know them. They are colleagues to Madam Sewa. They are trying to explain the reason why omuhuni say e was say atofos nkofie ene jakpaso ekofie. Now, say who study case here very well, you will see say Mr. S. When you read these things from the appeals court, as a Ghanaian, you have to be very worried. You have to start panicking. Because if you have a judge, the colleagues, etumi kachere say, what you are doing is that you are aiding and abetting. You are basically guiding a criminal to prosecute innocent men. We are Ghanaian walking on the street of Ghana. Now we need political connection. We need sika. You have to be very careful. Say, unya judges telling their colleague, say, you know definitely that what you are doing is wrong. You want to prosecute innocent people for them to go die in jail. Her colleagues writing such a judgment to their colleague judge, you need to be very careful as a Ghanaian. It goes beyond Jakpa, any attoforcing. It goes to the core of our judicial settings or our judicial service. It clearly says or states, say, from the Omo Kanech, they will say, there are some judges in Ghana who know the truth, but deliberately decide to connive with prosecutors to end the lives of people in their courtrooms. Hey, the judgment from the appeals court, it is the terminal report of a Judge Sewa. The judgment from the appeals court, it has basically summed up Judge Sewa's judicial history. And this is not something we have to joke with. Even for Attorney General to say, Semesako Supreme Court, it is telling you, say, even we Ghanaians and judges knowing clearly and stating clearly, say the Attorney General is persecuting people, he still have some hope in some part of the judiciary. For him to even just say, what you people are saying is clear cut. It is true. But I know a way. But I still believe that my crooked ways, there are people who I go to can change what is right to become what is wrong, and in my eyes become right. It should be worrying to every single Ghanaian. Because the confidence that Attorney General, is saying that he's going to move this case to the Supreme Court, then it means whatever he is testing at the High Court, he believes that he can test it better in the Supreme Court. Because in the High Court, he's being treated as the darling boy. Even though he's shitting on himself, the judge there is telling him that it is Chokomilo. Even though he's fooling himself, the judge there is just tapping him on the back. Even though he's foolishly exhibiting the highest form of criminality in courtroom, no, Madam Sewa or Sewa is telling him, you are a last born, so don't cry. He still has that confidence and believes that if Sewa gave him that audacity and room to misbehave and fool, no, of course, he's going to get a better pampering. And then Attorney General Godfred Dame is so confident that after all the appeals court judges, what they said and concluded the case, he still believes there's more ice up there. It should worry you. It should worry you because Attorney General now, Obiabe, the kind of Attorney General, or the who hope our Supreme Court today means he knows there's something in the Supreme Court you don't know. Then it means Godfred Dame knows there's something Madam Tokonu has that we don't know she has up there. And he's so attracted to his mom, Madam Tokonu. He knows when he goes there, something will happen. When he goes to the Supreme Court with all due respect and shits on himself, somebody in the Supreme Court will say, this is Chokomilo, stick some and eat. It is sweet. He knows when he goes, with all due respect to the Supreme Court, he goes there and that's what, vomit on himself. Somebody will say, this is just ice cream. Don't worry, it's vanilla. Just eat it. He has that belief and confidence upon all the embarrassment that the appeals court and upon all the revealing the appeals court has revealed. He still has the confidence that the Supreme Court, there is somebody at the Supreme Court who will protect his criminality. And that is the most dangerous thing in our judicial settings. I am worried. I am worried because we have an Attorney General who still thinks that there are judges in the Supreme Court who condone criminality. What is giving him that confidence? What is making him still believe that when I go up there, something positive will happen? It is because he has dealt with some people who have helped him before to commit a crime. Experience is always the best teacher. Until you've tasted that, you cannot speak on that. So what you don't know, you don't know. Answer any friend better board than a nice so. The Attorney General Godfred Dame believes that even though he's a criminal down here, when he goes up there, he will be seen as a bishop. And that is what is giving him the confidence to tell you and I, he will still go to the Supreme Court and change this verdict. Ghana 4. These people are dangerous people. We need to change them. We need to vote against them. We need to change the destiny of this nation. Godfred Dame or a criminal. There are people in our judicial settings who have aided this guy to this point. Last, me catch them. I was the same person who sat here to tell you there was a time former Chief Justice Echo South Africa, Doche was acting. Godfred Dame went to Doche. It was about Opuni's case. He went to Doche's office, connived with Doche. They changed the review of Opuni's case. I came here to tell Ghanaians this is what is happening. My name was mentioned in the Supreme Court. The Attorney General was told to sit in a box and take an oath. He didn't do it. Godfred Dame is a dangerous human being. So, now we analyze how he operates. A started free a year, Jachi Kwesen. When Jachi Kwesen, at the end of the day, went to appeals court and won a case, Godfred Dame went to the Supreme Court and overturned the case. Make sure why Godfred Dame has the confidence in the Supreme Court. Say, Okwa, even when he shits on himself, Yabeka say, Komilo, let me show you why. And why that guy is dangerous. And why we as Ghanaians have to change this. It started from Jachi Kwesen. When Jachi Kwesen went to High Court and got a ruling, Godfred Dame in 24 hours went to the Supreme Court and overturned that ruling. Mokai. Ofriho and about Opuni. Opuni went to the High Court. Opuni got a ruling. And yet the Attorney General went to the Supreme Court and overturned that ruling. If it were the people of Sal, Echo High Court, the Attorney General, after the decision was made, went to Eden, the Supreme Court, and overturned that decision. We were here, ambulance trial. And yet this same case, Dame, ran back to the appeals court. Today, when he went to the appeals court, things haven't gone the way he wanted to go. He actually won one. Now he's saying he's going to move from appeals court to go to the Supreme Court. Now, let me tell you, when Godfred Dame goes to the Supreme Court, he overturned this verdict. So we'll share the sequence and how he has always resorted to the Supreme Court. There's some cake sitting there. There's a booty at the Supreme Court that Godfred Dame enjoys eating. He is confident that upon all the things that I have told you, he's confident that when he goes there, there's somebody in the Supreme Court who overturned the verdict. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has appointed so many MPP foot soldiers into our courts. There are judges that we saw them sit on radio to say they are MPP judges, lawyers. They will go to Supreme Court, they'll go to Appeals Court, they'll go to High Court and make sure they work for the NPP. Today, Akufo-Addo has made those people High Court judges, Appeal Court judges. We know people who are MPP card-bearing members today, they are in the Supreme Court. Godfred Dame has confidence in Akufo-Addo's criminality. We as a people should stop this. Hey, so you're going in there and told that and saw nine. Adan kofo we de emra ebesha wokon by force. Edebesha unia bikon ebesha wankasa wokon. You will see what I am talking about. Say enya. A vote for the NPP is basically a death warrant. You are basically killing yourself. Ghanaians, my job here is to guide you, tell you the truth, show you the facts, and let you understand that this government needs to be voted against, irrespective of who leads them. Make to me the work consume no. I cannot force you to drink. Say in succumb do. That's what person will live or as I see you will drink the water. You have gotten to that point where you have to make the decision. I have told you there's a reason to do in soon and I'm there's a reason to to my NDC because I'm to my Sanyo Mama.
But thank you
that
for
will
being part of this long
with you to make that decision.
Conversation.
Would you
to analyze by my senior brother and
say
media space and me anytime I make a Ghana the politicians they have only 4 years span and say my own kind of politicians so a young Ghana me di money obian to me by a politician because of their deals they can be incriminated or incarcerated anytime. And the master will say try to make a good choice, vote against MPP. But tell a friend, don't go to the polling station with you alone. Try to convince somebody. It's like when crash came, try to convince somebody. Win a soul by encouraging someone to vote for the NDC. Thank you for being part of this team. This is DK Reaction TV. Subscribe and be part of it. Thank you.